Some people don't suffer because they're weak. They suffer because they feel what others bury. They notice what others ignore. They sense the shift in someone's voice, the distance in someone's eyes, the hidden pain beneath a smile, and the quiet dishonesty behind words that sound perfectly normal. And when you're built this way, life doesn't just hit you on the surface. It goes deep. A small rejection can open an old wound. A simple disappointment can feel like proof that nothing is safe. A quiet season can make you question your entire existence. And after a while, you may start wondering, why do I suffer so much? Why can't I just let things go like everyone else? But the real question isn't why you feel so deeply. The real question is, have you mistaken your depth for a life sentence of pain? When you suffer deeply, the first conclusion is usually personal. You start thinking something is wrong with you. You think you're too emotional, too sensitive, too much for other people, and maybe even too much for yourself. You watch other people move through life with what looks like ease. They get hurt, but they seem to bounce back faster. They get disappointed, but they don't seem to spiral the same way. They lose people, change jobs, go through conflict, and somehow they keep functioning like their entire world didn't just collapse. And then there you are, feeling everything in layers. You don't just feel sadness. You feel the meaning behind sadness. You don't just feel rejection. You feel like you were never truly chosen, wanted, or understood. You don't just experience a painful moment. You enter the whole emotional world beneath it. So you start judging yourself. You tell yourself you need thicker skin. You tell yourself you need to stop caring. You tell yourself you need to stop expecting people to understand you. And sometimes, to protect yourself, you may even build an identity around your suffering. You may start thinking, I suffer because I am deeper than everyone else. And there may be some truth in that. But here's the part that you need to understand. Pain does not automatically make you wise. Suffering does not automatically mean you are spiritually advanced. Being wounded does not make you better than people who seem to go through life with ease. The depth is real, but depth can become distorted when pain becomes your proof of identity. Because sometimes the deepest souls suffer the most, not because they're meant to suffer, but because they haven't learned how to stop turning every wound into a mirror of who they are. This is where you must be careful. You feel pain, then you identify with the pain. You feel abandoned, then you become the abandoned one. You feel misunderstood, then you become the one who no one understands. You feel rejected, then you become the one who always gets left behind. And once pain becomes identity, healing can start to feel like betrayal. Because who are you without the wound? Who are you without the ache? Who are you without the story that explains why you feel so sad? That's why this conversation matters. Because your suffering may be real. Your sensitivity may be real. Your depth is definitely real. But none of those things mean you're supposed to live trapped inside pain forever. What's actually happening is deeper than you're too sensitive. A deep soul often suffers because it processes life on more than one level. You are not only reacting to what happened, You are reacting to what it means. You are reacting to what it reminds you of. You are reacting to the emotional pattern underneath the event. That is why something small can feel enormous. Someone takes too long to respond, and your mind doesn't just say, "They're busy." It says, "I'm not important." Someone's tone changes slightly, and your body doesn't only say, "They sound tired." It says, "Something is wrong. I need to get ready for conflict." Someone pulls away, and your nervous system doesn't just say, "They need space." It says, "I'm about to be abandoned again." That's not weakness. That's pattern recognition mixed with old pain. Many deep souls were not born into suffering. They were trained into hyper-awareness. They had to read rooms. They had to notice moods. They had to sense danger before danger became obvious. They had to become emotionally intelligent before they were emotionally protected. So now, as adults, they call it intuition, when sometimes it's actually a nervous system that never learned how to be safe. That doesn't mean your intuition is fake. It means your intuition and your fear may be speaking at the same time. And your work is to learn the difference. Because a deep soul can feel truth, but a wounded soul can also mistake fear for truth. This is why you may keep attracting pain, not because you want to suffer, but because your inner system is still searching for familiar emotional patterns. If chaos was familiar, peace may feel suspicious. If rejection was familiar, healthy love may feel boring. If emotional intensity was familiar, calmness may feel empty. If being misunderstood was familiar, being seen may feel uncomfortable. And this is the brutal truth. Sometimes deep souls suffer because they are loyal to emotional climates they have outgrown. They keep returning to people, places, and versions of themselves that hurt. Not because they're stupid, but because the body confuses familiar pain with safety. This is why healing isn't just about thinking better thoughts. Healing is teaching your whole system that peace isn't dangerous. Love doesn't have to feel like anxiety. Connection doesn't have to feel like proving that you're worthy. And depth doesn't have to feel like suffering. The deepest souls often suffer because they can see underneath the surface, but they have not always learned how to live above the wound. They can understand everyone else's pain, but ignore their own. They can forgive people who hurt them, but struggle to protect themselves from being hurt again. They can carry compassion for others, but mistake self-abandonment for love. And this is where depth becomes dangerous. Not because depth is bad, but because depth without boundaries becomes a doorway for exhaustion. Depth without grounding becomes overthinking. Depth without self-respect becomes martyrdom. Depth without healing becomes identity. So the goal is not to become shallow. The goal is to go deep without drowning. The first step is to stop romanticizing your suffering. That may sound harsh, but it's necessary. There is a strange comfort in pain when pain has been with you for a long time. It becomes familiar. It becomes explainable. It becomes a language you know how to speak. And sometimes, without even realizing it, you keep choosing the wound because the wound gives you an identity. The misunderstood one. The abandoned one. The empath. The one who always sees what no one else sees. But your soul did not come here just to be beautifully wounded. You are not here to turn pain into poetry while your life suffers. You are not here to be spiritually aware, but emotionally imprisoned. You are not here to understand everyone else, while abandoning yourself in the process. So moving differently begins with honesty. When pain rises, ask yourself, is this what is actually happening? Or is this what I am afraid is happening again? That question can disrupt the old identity, because much of your suffering is not only in the present moment. It is the present moment touching an old emotional wound. And when that old wound opens, your body may react as if the past has returned. This is where awareness becomes powerful. Not the kind of power that controls everything, the kind of power that pauses before obeying the pattern. You don't have to answer every emotion immediately. You don't have to believe every fear. You don't have to turn every uncomfortable silence into a story about your worth. You don't have to chase people just because distance activated an old wound. You don't have to explain yourself endlessly to people committed to misunderstanding you. And you don't have to keep proving that you're worthy of love by tolerating what keeps breaking your peace. This is where the deepest souls begin to heal. Not when they stop feeling, but when they stop worshiping every feeling as absolute truth. Because feelings are real, but they're not always final. Pain is real, but it's not always prophecy. Fear is real, but it's not always guidance. Loneliness is real, but it's not proof that you're unlovable. The deep soul must learn discernment. You can be compassionate and still have boundaries. You can understand why someone acts the way they do and still not let them close enough to harm you. You can love deeply and still leave. You can forgive someone and still refuse to rebuild a bridge back to the same chaotic relationship. You can be spiritual and still be direct. You can be kind and still say no. This is the new path. Depth with boundaries. Sensitivity with discernment. Love with self-respect. And maybe the most important shift of all, you have to stop believing that peace means you have become less deep. Some deep souls are addicted to intensity because intensity feels meaningful. But peace is not empty. Peace is what depth feels like when it is no longer at war with itself. Peace may feel unfamiliar at first. It may feel quiet. It may feel almost suspicious. But that doesn't mean it's wrong. It means your system is learning a new language. A language where love doesn't require panic. A language where purpose doesn't require suffering. A language where growth doesn't require constant collapse. A language where you can feel deeply without being destroyed by what you feel. That's maturity. That's healing. That's the deeper soul becoming whole. So, if you have suffered deeply, don't use that pain as proof that something is wrong with you. Don't use it as proof that you are meant to suffer. Your depth is not a curse. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. Your awareness is not the enemy. But your depth needs grounding. Your sensitivity needs protection. Your awareness needs direction. Because a deep soul without healing becomes a witness to pain. But a deep soul with healing becomes a presence that transforms the room without needing to bleed for everyone in it. You don't have to become colder. You don't have to become numb. You don't have to stop caring. You just have to stop abandoning yourself in the name of being deep. The deepest souls often suffer the most because they feel life in layers. But the healed soul learns something even greater. You can feel the layer without becoming trapped inside it. You can understand the wound without living from it. You can carry depth without carrying everyone else's darkness as your responsibility. And when that happens, your sensitivity stops being a wound that controls you and becomes a gift that serves you. Not by making you suffer more, but by helping you see clearly, love wisely, and finally choose peace without shame. If this journey spoke to you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone ready to experience life beyond thought. Comment below. Have you ever mistaken your depth for a reason you had to keep suffering? I read every comment. If you would like to support my work directly, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/magnumopus333. Or you can explore some original merchandise at my Teespring store online. The link is in the description below. Or perhaps consider becoming a channel member or sending a super thanks. Any support is greatly appreciated. Remember, your consciousness is the key that unlocks reality. Let's keep unlocking it together. Thank you for watching. Until next time.